what a dream to work at a company where HR is actually like
valued.
Like it's almost like the Venn diagram of the company's needs and the employees' needs, and the human HR is like in the middle going, hey, how do we make sure everyone gets happy so the job gets done?
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Oh, and stick around to the very end because we got some outtakes that's been happening.
There's always outtakes, and the team does collect them for bloopers on the YouTube, but we're adding them into the end of the pod because you know what? You need to know that we are not perfect, you're not perfect,
and
nobody's
we're
perfect,
enjoying the process.
And we are enjoying that. So have a good laugh on our behalf. Love you! Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host and life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the people-centric convo I had with Ryan-Mae McAvoy in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. Who would have thought that a conversation with the head of HR could have been so fun?
She's a riot.
She's a riot.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, I mean, like, she came totally, like, I love the person who referred her, so, like, I'm in. Many of our listeners actually work for a company. Not everyone is meant to be like someone who like, you know, works for themselves. And she feels like an entrepreneur because she like has so many great ideas. And she's like, how do I take these amazing ideas and then make it work with the company? But also like, I just really love the permission she gave to anyone listening. Like it will help you whether you work for yourself or you work for someone else. It went way long and I'm okay with that. It was so good.
It was a good interview. Yeah.
Today is June 22nd, if you're listening in real time, which is World Rainforest Day. I just want to like take a little brief side journey in the scenic route. It's also like National Kissing Day, and last week was like Sneak a Kiss Day, and I'm not sure who's making the days, but like apparently June is all about kissing. It's also Pride Month. So like we didn't actually announce at the end of the month, but I just want to say Pride Month is going on. And I saw this amazing meme that says, Pride Month, I hope all the people who are homophobic have a super uncomfortable month. And I'm like, yes, I hope you have a super uncomfortable month. Happy Pride Month, but also World Rainforest Day is as important as Pride Month because you guys, the rainforests are why we get to breathe air.
It's
so
true.
Whether or not you live near a rainforest, you rely on the rainforest. So please do your share to rock your life so that the rainforest can rock yours. So
yeah, I think I was just looking up the statistics. The with deforestation happening down in Brazil, it's really changing the dynamic of air quality around the world. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I don't know why that's not seen as like an important priority.
Maybe outside the U.S. people are talking about it a lot, but like I just know that what I've heard from the stuff that we like you and I have dove deep into, it's like people are trying to get, you know, Brazil's government to like take care of its rainforest, and I don't know what the new person is doing, so I don't want to knock that person, but the person before was a bit of a dick. And some shady fires were happening that, now we get to farm here. So At any rate, like Brazil, I love you. I love visiting you. I think it's amazing. You're also not the only rainforest. So I don't think...
they're just the largest. And I wonder, since it's obviously like an international resource, like, and their argument is like, you know, we need to do industrial stuff. I wonder if like we could buy their non-destruction of the rainforests.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. We are not that podcast though, so I'm gonna say like
it's true.
Y'all,
this has been something that's been on my mind since I was in 4th grade.
Brad has been on his mind for a long
Literally.
time. So here is the thing. This is where you have to like pick and choose your thing that you're gonna dive into.
Yeah.
And so you know we can all there's a million problems at least on this planet. Pick the problem that you're most dedicated to, donate your money to that, and then make people aware of this amazing day, and maybe they'll donate to this too. Anyways, World Rainforest Day. Take care of the rainforest near you. So also we are about to do a really fun virtual OPC event with our OPC teachers, with myself, with some contributors. If you are into Pilates, if you love to nerd out about Pilates and you want to do it online, then July is your best chance to do that with us. And so you want to go to opc.me/event. Speaking of July, we will actually be in the UK with an amazing business workshops and Pilates workshops. And at this point, probably will have opened up the doors for the few single ticket a la carte workshops you can buy. So you'll want to go to opc.me/UK to check out those options. In August, yeah, Brad's going to join me. He's teaching the business workshops with me.
I'm excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So excited. They're going to love your accent. August, the summer tour, our West Coast tour. Hello, West Coast, Best Coast. We're coming up your alley and we are going all the way to the top. So make sure you go to opc.me/tour to get all the information. And hello, Poland. Hi, Poland. Hello, Europe. Basically, if you don't want to join me in the UK, then you need to join me in Poland. And by the way, the workshops are totally different. So you could do both. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's my first time in Poland in over 4 years. And we have the Contrology Conference. So go to contrologypilatesconference.com to get your spot. There are limited spots available. And then October, we will be in Cambodia. And it's leslielogan.com/retreat for the retreat info, because I'm just so stoked. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get back there. I gotta be honest, I love Jeju, but I was like, should we have flown to Cambodia instead? You know, like we gotta see the rest of the world too, but like I miss going there several times a year, so I cannot wait to be there leading this retreat, and then I get to hang out longer, so I'm super excited about that. Anyways.
Yeah.
Before we dive into Ryan, we have an audience question to respond to.
We do. This one's from Megan Lawman, and she said, hi, a while ago I remember the link for the red light LL uses being in the show notes, but I couldn't find which episode that was in. It's the most beautiful red light I've ever seen, and if I'm going to relax and stare at a light, I feel like it should look beautiful. I was thinking of adding it to my wish list. Do you know the name of that company?
I love this. You guys, you can ask us any question you want.
Any question.
And this question is not even a long answer, so I'm super, it's like, love, you should look beautiful in your red light, and your light should look, everything you own can look beautiful. You do not have to have ugly red lights. So I do love this red light, and you can go to beitpod.com/sauna space. So sauna, like a hot sauna, space. And that will take you to the red light company that I got my red light from, and I use it pretty much every day we're in this house.
Yep, she does.
And when Brad is like, I'm like, you should sit in front of the red light.
It's very calming. It also like helps with skin rejuvenation. They use it a lot for recovery, for injuries and stuff, for like, skin injuries and stuff.
It's why we don't look like we're 40 when we are.
Yeah, so it's great for your face.
I mean, there's a bunch of other awesome stuff with it. I love how I feel when I'm done.
Yeah, it also like it helps with your mind. There's a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I play video games in front of it and I don't even meditate. I just sit there and I'm like, this is what I want to do right now. But I'll be honest, like it has saved me from days where I feel like I just want to, which is actually going to go into like this whole conversation we're about to have about Ryan, but like I just want to quit myself. Oh, can't do that. Well, let me turn this light on. And like 20 minutes later, I'm like, what would be really amazing? Let's do these 5 things. And it's like, whoa, we just switched. We literally flipped a switch. So
yeah, it's super calming. So if you're working in a stressful space, or you have a lot of stress in your world, getting a red light, can actually be really beneficial for you and also like your mindset. So we are big fans of the one that we have called from Sauna Space. So go to beitpod.com/sauna space.
Yeah. And also, Amy Ladine, who is episode 5, she actually has one of their setups as well. She is recovering, like she's always in recovery of the cancer that she's had, because it's come back a couple of times. And so she every single day stands in front of her whole red light setup from them. So there's a couple different options you have.
Episode 5.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
So good.
Mind blowing.
Every time we do this, guys, you have to, I wish you could see it. Like if you're watching it on YouTube, you can, but like I literally say a number and then Brad Googles to see if I was right. And then he's always like, if I'm ever wrong, I'm like, either an inverted number off or one off. I'm like so close. It's never it's never like, wow, that you're 100 episodes off. Anyways, Megan, put it on your wish list. Get this for yourself. It is awesome, and you will use it. At this point, it costs me no money because I've used it every day. Yeah. So, anyways, you can send in your questions to the Beit Pod. I actually don't know what the email is, so just DM us on Instagram, or they'll put it in the show notes, I'm sure.
Yeah, just sign up for the weekly newsletter, and there's a link in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about Ryan-Mae McAvoy.
What a name!
Yeah, it's a great name. I'm confused if it's McAvoy or McAvoy, because there's not M-A-C. Are they still pronounced exactly the same?
It's a great question for her. You should have asked it when you interviewed her.
Well, you definitely confirmed Ryan-Mae.
Yeah, it's Ryan-Mae.
Yeah, I know. But you never mentioned her last name during the interview. It's like, okay, well, that's all right. With a diverse HR background, she offers a fresh perspective on human resources by recognizing the untapped potential in corporate environments. She is dedicated to driving positive change from the inside out, striving to cultivate a workplace where employees are valued, supported, and inspired to reach their full potential. Mm-hmm. So, first thing, before we even jump into our ideas on like what we liked about the conversation, mm-hmm. I just thought it was great to define HR.
Right.
And this was the first time that I had...
Because I used to go, oh my God, HR is coming. HR is calling. Fuck my life.
Right? Yeah, it's like it's IAB in fucking SVU. Where it's like, the internal, like they're coming to get you. Internal affairs. No, HR, the way she defines HR is that it's human operations. So anything that has to do with the humans in the company and the operations around them. So, she was talking about, obviously, like, the insurance side of things and all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, but also, like, the mental well-being. And she gave a couple of other examples that I'm drawing a blank on at the moment. But I thought it was like, oh, that's a different way to think about... there should be somebody in the company who is looking after the well-being of the people in the company.
Because the first corporation that I was at didn't have HR. Like the CFO was kind of like
right
also acting as HR.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really have an HR. Like if I wanted to complain about my boss, it was to my boss. So super fun. It doesn't work. And then when I worked for a high-end fitness company, there was HR, but like, man, it was like you talk to them like, I have to write this person up. That's not a good enough write-up.
Right.
And like, I need to find this person.
Like
you haven't written them up negative. 3 times.
Yeah.
But since I've left, I've since heard that they have opportunities for life coaching. They've added in some amazing resources. That's very much more human-centric. So when Ryan described this, like oh my God, what a dream to work at a company where HR is actually like
valued. Like
it's almost like the Venn diagram of the company's needs and the employees' needs, and the human HR is like in the middle going, hey, how do we make sure everyone gets happy so the job gets done? And I just really enjoyed her. Like, how fun is she? I don't even want to work for a SaaS company. I actually don't even know what they do. But I would like her to be my HR person.
Yeah, well, after listening to her talk about how, like, her approach to HR and how it's incorporated into her company, it actually reminded me a lot of our friend Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Because he actually, his role, like, he works for a security company. So it's a lot of, men in like private security where they're taking care of super high profile people. It's militant.
It's super stressful.
It's like militant, where it's effectively like police, but like privatized. And, so all of the expectations that you might have around that idea, and his role in the company is to make sure that the people are able to function as human beings, and so he goes around and he, he has the authority to give someone a week off if they need it, like whatever it might be, or, take someone out to lunch or whatever, and dig in and have these conversations. And But I never actually, like, I always thought, like, wow, what an epic role to play in a company. But I never thought about it as HR.
Yeah.
And so actually, I think it might be aligned with HR.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to dive into what I love.
Yes, do it.
So she talked about your relationship with yourself being it's the most permanent relationship you could have. And so going back to the red light, it's like, sometimes I just want to get the fuck away from myself. I'm like, I'm annoyed. I'm annoying myself. I'm the right? But I can't leave me as far as this lifetime is concerned. So so she said it's really powerful to be able to walk away and she talked about like, so being the most permanent means that you're not stuck, you're not concrete, you're not stuck as who you are, but you don't get to leave you. So so you really do need to take time to get to know yourself. And she is really focused on self-improvement, and making sure that every year she focuses on like acknowledging what's going on and learning about what wasn't her best self, what were her mistakes, and then building up the good stuff and like acknowledging what the good stuff is. Like the other day I was teaching my Elevate group and someone goes, I know this sounds really weird, but I want to say I'm so proud of myself. And I'm like, it should not be weird to say I'm so fucking proud of myself. Like it should be like seen as like a hurrah, like that's amazing, right? So I just love that she actually brought up like getting to know yourself and being like in this really being amazing with the relationship with yourself as being awesome and it should be a priority. And you know, when you work for someone or maybe you work for yourself, like sometimes you and I both at separate times like, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Like I am not serving anybody in this moment. Like I need to go away, and it should not be like a strike on your amazingness at the job that you're at. It should be seen as like, okay, way to acknowledge that you aren't titrating right now. You are not showing up in this amazing thing, and like you need to like go take yourself away so you can like figure out what you need right now, what you need to like take care of yourself right now. Titrate. This is what Brad's looking up right now. So titrate is like, do I need a walk right now? Do I need to take on more responsibility right now? Do I need to take on less responsibility right now? Here's how I'm going to use it in a sentence, because that's what everyone's going to want to have. So I have these AG1 vitamin D drops, and I can put in a drop, or I can titrate and put in more drops. I can give myself more drops should I feel like I need them. That's called titrating. It's like
it's a science word for sure, because there is not a single definition that talks about it in the way you are, although there is a parallel.
Yeah, no, I learned it in my breath work, and I also learned it from AG1. They're like titrate between 1 and 5 drops. So like it is a word people use. It's like a measurement.
It says to ascertain the amount of a constituent in a solution by measuring the volume of a known concentration of reagent required to complete a reaction with it.
AKA acknowledge if you need more or less time in the space that you're in and go get yourself what you need. So that's what titrate is.
Yeah, so it used in a sentence, the sample is titrated at a pH near 10 with EDTA solution.
That's not helpful.
No, it is totally, because the sample is titrated at, so it's titrated, meaning it's diluted, or it's, there's something that's being added into the thing.
Yeah.
So in this instance, you were talking about
giving yourself more or less of other things so you can become the best version of yourself.
Space, you're inserting something into the middle of the thing. So
in other words,
taking a breather.
The best word I could have used.
I loved it
In this example.
That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What did you love?
Okay, so she said to speak your truth. Vocalize what you're not comfortable with. And I think that it's, especially in the corporate environment, it's easy to get, like the tomatoes thrown to the person who stands up above the crowd, all the things, everyone wants to be Daisy, all that stuff. And I worked in a very volatile environment where you just kept your fucking mouth shut.
Your environment stressed me out and I wasn't even there.
Yeah, because if you, and unless it was like, it was very infrequent that someone would ever push back, because it was not really welcomed, and it just created stress, and that stress was never fun. So, but she said, you need to. It's important to. We need to speak up inside of the... Bless you.
I'm so sorry.
That happened. She said we need to speak up inside of corporate walls to create change because there are misconceptions about HR that they only care about the company. And she said it's not true because she's also an employee of the same company.
It's so strange.
Right? So, like, how can the employee of the company be only for the company and not for the employees? She wouldn't be for herself, right? So that's like the weird misconception.
I also think that's like such a great like comeback to people who like have a neg on HR. It's like, okay, but then I would literally be doing a disservice to my own self.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, there's a ulterior motive because if she makes rules that don't make sense, then they're not going to make sense for her either. So anyway, she said there's a human element to what they do, and they deal with difficult situations such as layoffs, terminations, performance issues, etc. But people don't get to those points without there being like things along the way that will take them to the point of a layoff, termination, or a performance issue. And she said she can't solve problems that she doesn't know about. And so it's so important as a person who's working in an organization that has HR to go and speak to HR and say the things that need to be said. You know, and it's not a bitch fest, but like it's a, you know, again, just like we were talking about a week ago with, you know, relationships, it's communication that's going to allow the easing of tension, the easing of stress. And what's really lovely about having someone who's in HR is that, you know, that you can schedule a meeting with them and you can sit down and have a conversation about something that is bothering you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what? The last company I worked for, I was out of a courtroom because I got subpoenaed. I was not working for them anymore, but I got subpoenaed and I had to go in. And I was sitting out there waiting to be my witness self. Trust me, I tried to get out of it. And the person who sat down next to me was the head of HR for the West Coast. And I was like, your job I just like feel like it fucking sucks. He's like, well, this is not the highest point of my job.
As he's sitting outside of a courtroom.
And I was just like, can you just lose my number? Like, just please do not call me in for this ever again. But I saw him as a human, I think, for the first time ever. And I remember thinking, gosh, I wonder how my job would have been different if I had seen him as a human being.
While you were in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I probably would have used him in a different way. I think I probably would have stuck up and advocated for myself in a different way. And like that's not his fault. Like I had this like negative look on HR. And maybe like it's part like maybe we'll both take responsibility. Like he could have explained how he could have saved my ass sometimes. So that would have been nice. But I also like when it comes to laying people off, just so you all know who are employees, it fucking sucks for the employer too. Yeah. It costs so much money to hire, train someone. It is way, way cheaper to have an employee who's with you for a really long time.
But aside from that, and yes, of course, the financial side of it, the reality is that you build relationships with your team. So, you know, like the dynamic of the whole team is going to change. And, you know, especially if you like the person that you have to let go, like that sucks.
Yeah, like it like sometimes you're letting someone go not because they're an idiot or a bad human being. It's just like this is not the right role for you.
Or I mean, it could be like, you know, we tried this initiative and we're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah,
so now,
there's so many reasons.
You know, whatever.
So, like our friend Michael, we were like getting on a podcast with him, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, I just had to fire someone. Let me take a moment." And we were like, "Oh, no problem. I've been there before." And he's like, "My whole goal is that people know that they're getting fired. Like it should not be a surprise, you know?" And like, so typically if your HR, your company or your boss has been doing their job, you've been getting feedback along the way. It's not a surprise. It should not be a surprise when it's like, so sorry, this isn't working out. No, it still sucks. It still stings. It's still awful. But you know, Ryan, love you. Wish I could have you on my HR team. Wish I could have an HR team. Yeah. I think she offered her services an a la carte.
We'll get there someday.
We'll get there. We'll get Ryan someday because and if not Ryan, dreams. Like you are the standard. You are the. I want to know your strength finders and all the things you can write the description for the person that I'm hiring. Anyways, thank you. Yeah, I loved it. I'm so good. Let's do the beat action.
Yeah, we'll be right back. All right, now let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Ryan-Mae McAvoy? Do not label yourself as just one thing. She was talking about being a multifaceted human being. We're not robots. We aren't only doing the thing that we do at work all day long, no matter what your employer may want. She said, serve the version of you at the moment that serves you best. So, for example, she said, yeah, during the day at my job, I'm Ryan-Mae, the HR person, but I'm also, a wife. I'm also a cat lady, and I love Netflix and mac and cheese on a hard metal day.
We have gluten-free, dairy-free mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah, we do. It's amazing.
We're going to have it at night. I think we should have tonight.
Yeah, maybe we do that.
Yeah.
She said it's the seed of the garden to being more than just your job. Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. Like, some people, like, they just, like, work themselves 24/7 because they think that that's going to make them better at the job. But really, it's, like, your multifaceted self that makes you the best at the job.
Yeah, it's very weird. I fall straight into this trap. For me, it's like if I could work on the thing 24/7, then I think that it's going to be, I'm going to move the ball forward or something like that. And
I love that I caught you watching a superhero movie on your lunch break today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. I think you need those pauses. You need to have any interest because it allows you to draw inspiration in different ways. And also, like, you're not a fucking robot. You're a human being.
It was also the weekend, and we were working all weekend, but I did. I know I'm out this week, and that's why I was doing it. But yes,
please. Let's just take a little asterisk. Hold on a second, like a little moment. We do not work all weekend, every weekend.
That's
this particular work weekend was a planned work weekend because of vacations prior to and after.
Yeah.
So there we go. Okay. Yeah. Go back to your point.
I don't think they're judging us. It's okay.
No, I just think it's important for people to actually understand that, like, it's part of. You plan these things in, so you can work the weekend.
Because we work for ourselves, y'all know we went to Korea. We tagged on because we were already over there. Was like, well, let's go take 4 days and actually take a break.
And it ended up being 6 days.
Well,
break. Yeah.
The island of Jeju was we were there for 4 days.
Yeah.
So the point is, we actually weren't working then, which would have been during the week. And so, this weekend when we're home, it's like, all right, let's do this.
Let's get some stuff done so Brad can go camping.
Yeah. Hell
yeah. So I love that beat, actually. I thought that was really great.
So I'm in on that. What was your biggest takeaway?
So she said, acknowledge and honor even the bad parts. And I actually like bad in air quotes because she's like, acknowledge what these are and learn what these parts are about ourselves that we're not going to love. And then the more you deny the layers of yourself, that's what she said, the more you deny the layers of yourself, you become less authentic in each version. And you can also become easily consumed. So she let her job consume her because, like, she wanted to be liked. And so, or there's a lot of work to be done. Like, there's these easy reasons for this. And it's like, there are parts of ourselves that we're not the most excited to share, that we're like, oh God, people are going to see this. But, like, if you deny that part of yourself, or you hide it, or you whatever, it is easy to become more and more less authentic.
I mean, even in the day-to-day, it's not necessarily something you're, like, permanently denying. If you're having a shit day, it's okay to know that you're having a shit day.
Well, and also, like, I acknowledge in this, like, I did not like who I was in one of the most recent finance meetings. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't like who I am. I want to go take a walk, and I can't leave this meeting. I'm not enjoying it. Is this meeting over? Okay, it's done. Okay, thank you. Let's all try to figure out. I got to figure out how to like myself in this meeting. And I'd love for us to make sure that this meeting can be more fun. So anyways, be who you need to be in that moment and accept that sometimes it's not the best version of yourself. That's a good quotable. I hope our team put it on a card so we can share that shit, because it is okay to not be 100% amazingly awesome all the time. You can titrate and be the best version of yourself that you can be in that moment. You
can titrate. Yes.
Ryan-Mae, thanks for being the bestest. So excited. You guys, we actually have another HR person coming up in the lineup, and it's a whole different topic. And I got to connect the two of them, and I'm like, okay, but hold on, did you chat? What's going on? Like, I'm really excited about it because it's a whole other topic. It's all about grief, which I'm super stoked about. So thank you, Ryan, for setting the stage for what HR could look like in this world. Thank you for being amazing. Keep us posted on everything you're doing. Everyone else, how are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know. Tag the Beit Pod, tag Ryan-Mae. She's like huge on LinkedIn. So, head over there. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is produced and edited by the epic team at Diseño.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Chofi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals and Samena Velazquez for our transcriptions.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all the content to our website, and finally to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time. All right. Actually, give me a second.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I'm ready.